Isaia lo namtao befitu, Isaiah chapter 7. Isaia lo namtao befitu, lela amawetatu famalosi netayao, Isaiah 7. We're going to do a little bit of reading today, so yung sa imay lava la faisina umutatu faitau tu sa netayao ya ole man on lava ina ia tatu malama ile taumua le talo Christmas. Isaiah chapter 7, we're going to look at verses 1 through 14. Very long read, but I want us to really understand the setting of this story, because out of the background of this story, we get the very phrase that we hear often, or the name Emmanuel, God with us. And a lot of us, we use this during Christmas without understanding where it came from, how it came about, and what its true meaning is. And today, and for the next couple of Sundays, we're going to look at what it means, this term, Emmanuel, or this name, Emmanuel, God with us. Isaia lo namtao befitu, fai upumuamua, msai mai lao le atato fai taumua lava mai fai upumuamua, ai fa anata mai fai upuespi manfa, fa amonmole lava. Isaiah chapter 7, verses 1 through 14. We're going to read it in Samoan, and then I'll go ahead and read it for us in English. It's a long read, it's a good read, but it will set us up for our message this morning. Atua, Amato Saudi Falo Nomo Fiona Nita Tamo le Atua Fiona Paia. It's a Famana Malama Mafailua Milo Finalo Eala Lelo Fiona Paia. Titalo Mato Loto le Atua. Yafayos Ele Leye Pau Ele Fatulo Upu. Fua Mayeni Fua Walo Vina le Atua. Ye Faman Via Maile Atua. One Nato Falo Lomo. Ayamato Ana Ila Upu le Atua. Ile Ala Famania Dafai Mato to Sustai. Mafaya ne te fina ngalo ye familia mai ko ile tua tuna watu ya te ole bi ina ono Yesu. Amen. Amen. Isaia fitu lo namtao kumua fa mamole lawa se fa mata mai fa Yesu fa awol ba babe tau le mu tau ngala lama atu fa tau wai fa mamole na fa Samoa fa kumua fa mata mai fa Yesu fa iya When Ahaz, son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, was the king of Judah, King Rezin of Aram. Aram is another word for Assyria. And Pekah, son of Remaliah, the king of Israel, marched up to fight against Jerusalem, but they could not overpower it. Now the house of David was told, Aram, or Assyria, has allied itself with Ephraim. So the hearts of Ahaz and his people were shaken, as the trees of the forest are shaken by the wind. Then the Lord said to Isaiah, go out, you and your son Shear-Jashub, to meet Ahaz at the end of the aqueduct of the upper pool on the road to the launderer's field. Say to him, be careful, keep calm, and don't be afraid. Do not lose heart because of these two smoldering stubs of firewood, because of the fierce anger of Rezin and Aram and of the son of Remaliah. Aram, Ephraim, and Remaliah's son have plotted your ruin, saying, let us invade Judah. Let us tear it apart and divide it among ourselves, and make the son of Tabeel king over it. Yet this is what the sovereign Lord says, it will not take place. It will not happen. For the head of Aram is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is only Rezin. Within 65 years, Ephraim will be too shattered to be a people. Then the head of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is only Remaliah's son. If you do not stand firm in your faith, you will not stand at all. Again, the Lord said to Ahaz, ask the Lord your God for a sign, whether in the deepest paths or depths, or in the highest heights. But Ahaz said, I will not ask. I will not put the Lord to the test. But then Isaiah said, hear now, you house of David. Is it not enough to try the patience of humans? Will you also try the patience of my God? Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and will call him Emmanuel. Say amen. Emmanuel, God is with us. Emanuelu wayate tatou le Atua. Say amen. It might be a little hard to really grasp. So before we get into the depth of our message, I want to set up the story here so we can understand. The kingdom of Israel has been split in two. So there's a northern kingdom and there's a southern kingdom. The northern kingdom has 10 of the tribes. The southern kingdom has 2 of the tribes. The northern kingdom has this larger tribe called Ephraim. Lema sanina tauso Ephraima. So se taine te faitawe le upule o le nuo Ephraima. Le winga o le toma faia le tanata le failo atu. E le o le nuo Israelu saute. A le nuo le imatu. The northern kingdom. And oftentimes you also hear the kingdom of Judah. The reason why you hear the kingdom of Judah is because Judah is from the southern kingdom. It's the largest kingdom. It's also where Jerusalem is. So anytime you hear the kingdom of Judah, the kingdom of Jerusalem, it is known as the southern kingdom of Israel. So we're looking at this story and you're saying, well, what point that has to do? Because this is what's going to make sense. First of all, the northern kingdom, the king that is king here, his name is Pekah, the son of Remaliah. So he is the king of the northern kingdom. The southern king, his name is the name that we read in the beginning. His name is King Ahaz. So we have 2 kings here in the kingdom of Israel. The northern kingdom is Pekah, the king of the Ephraim, and the southern kingdom, his name is Ahaz, and he comes from the line of David. Now when we look at this story, what's going on is it's a matter of power.
Those of you who like to talk about the history and the wars that took place before Rome was all of these other kingdoms. The greatest kingdom in the beginning was Syria. But now there was a new power that was coming, and that kingdom was called Assyria. And so from Assyria, this king was now starting to threaten all of the other kingdoms. And just like the next kingdom, the Babylon king, they were coming to take over the whole world. That's what they wanted. See, this king in Assyria wanted nothing else but to control all of the nations that were below. And so if you look at the way it's designed, Assyria is way at the top. The next kingdom is Syria. Below Syria is the northern kingdom. And right under the northern kingdom is the southern kingdom of Israel. So what's happening here is Syria is starting to get scared. Because they're the first one. If Assyria moves to attack, the first kingdom would be Syria. So Syria decides, I cannot win against this king, I need to join forces. So he goes down to the northern kingdom of Israel, and he meets with Pekah, and he tells Pekah, I need us to join together, because if we join forces, we might have a chance against Assyria. But even though they're together, there's still one problem. The king of Syria knows that this is not enough. They need one more kingdom to come into this alliance. And that kingdom would be the southern kingdom where King Ahaz is at. And so here what we see is these two kingdoms talk to Ahaz, but Ahaz has a different understanding of how he wants to take control. Ahaz says to them, no, I don't want to be part of your team. I think I'm just going to stand alone. And here, this is what causes the king of Syria and the northern kingdom to be angry. And so what happens is these two kingdoms decide they're going to force Ahaz to join this alliance. And the first thing they do is they enter the southern kingdom and they begin a war with King Ahaz. Lela feme wo Sofia yele nuule sauke ile awanga leo o Suria male nuule Israel le lunga ifo wala to Sofia yele malole sauke wala to toma faye fosi yele tupule asa ina yela to mai nga lue fatasi etete e atu le tupu male awanga malo sile mai lunga o Asuria. And so when you read this, what happened is the kingdom has already invaded. And they've invaded the southern kingdom. And if you look at some of the verses, it said over 200,000 people were captive. Over 180,000 soldiers were killed during this battle. And so what you have is a very ugly thing when Israel comes over and beats his little brother. And that's what's happening here. And now when we get to our story, this is what's going on. And I need us to understand King Ahaz. He comes from the Davidic line, and I want you to be patient. Like I said, I need to set this up in order for you to understand the ending of the story. So this King Ahaz, he comes from the line of David. And we know that God promised that in the line of David, it will never ever be cut. There will always be a king, Isaia, because David was a faithful king to God. And so here we have all of the line of David, and it gets to Ahaz. And you know, it's unfortunate, because when you look at the story of Ahaz, he's not really a good king. If you look at it in 2 Chronicles 2 verse 28 verse 2 then 4, it says, this king, he walked in the evil ways. He made images of Baal. He also burned incense in the valley of the son of Hinnom, and he also offered his kids up as sacrifices before false gods. So you look at this, and this is a total separate and evil king from King David. But yet the Lord would continue to bless him. Why? Not because of his evil ways, but because of his faithful father David. Lena fire asa. Alumele angai ole sangwe le lengo tavita. Alera feme ifa manwi ale tua ya asa Isaia. Ele ono se fa maun ya asa. Ai ono le fa maun yo lona tavita. Me leo te whamalosi atua ia te oe mātua, e ai fo i leo ngā lo whamaoni le atua. Langa ai whamaoni le atua, e le ngata i whamanuia o tō, ai whamanuia fo i o whanau. Whamanuia o malo whanau, po le ālava le leanga ma le anga sala, langa le tatou whaitau, o le tupu le asa mai le laingo tā vita, sili o na sawa, sili o na amio le anga i luma o le atua, sili o na anga sala, aia, na whamanuia pēr le atua aisia, o no le whamaoni o lo le samao tā vita. Le whamaoni o mātua. Me leo te whamalosi atua ia te oe ta māmati nā, pe wawa ai atu le whamaoni o lo whanau, pe wawa ai atu winga lo whanau, le tusa malpina ngalo le atua, whamaoni pe oe, aisia, nanga e hui mai whamanuianga le atua i lo whamaoni. E whamanuia atua i lo whanau. E whamanuia i ainga, e whamanuia i lea tupulanga ma lea tupulanga. And we look at that and we see this blessing that is coming from an evil and wicked king. And when we look at the story, again, I want to set it up. Ahaz is at the bottom. And around Ahaz, there are other kingdoms that are attacking. One of the kingdoms you hear often is the Philistines. They're right to the south. El Filistia, o lo lalo ifo le ai o le nuo Israel le sauke, o le isi le nu sa faima fa'ala velave. O le isi nu le isi tu o le nuo e toma, the Edomites. And here you have, so in other words, what's happening is the southern kingdom was surrounded with troubles in every corner. Ai le tu langalo ia le nu le Jerusalema ia po le nu fo Utah sa si o mia filis I tu langa uma tua o so tua o uma they were all enemies. No one was there to save them. And so the setting is this is where we find our story. Le la o tatou baba ai ma tatou faitau le tatou talentai au nei o mele o tupu o umana o mai nei le tupu o Suria ma le tupu o Israelu I lunga ifo ma ua ataki le lungu le ilalo ifo te le a whaina se lau lua sfuru afe tangata na mali wai lua se lau tangata ua ave I tusai ma le tauma leo. They were caught, they were captives, and now here again, leo toi whaalongo ngai foia asa, o lea la saule si taua whaalua, lea la koe whaalua leo mai, a wanga leo Suria, ma le lungu le lungu maifo. So they're coming back a second time. And when you look at this is the setting again. When you look back at our story, Isaiah, let's go back to it, right? Isaiah chapter 7, verse 4, it says to them, it says what? They became afraid. The house of David heard that Aram has allied itself with Ephraim, so the hearts of Ahaz and the people were shaken as the trees of the forest are shaken by the wind. Le tatou feito famia ona matete ai leo lona loto tusa leo toi whaalongo a asa ma le nuu ma leo loto toi o le atoi o mai foi. Le la famei tatou tuis feitau famei o ngā tete o natou loto le fefe o ngā tete uma loto lona nuu pei ona lulu ino la au le vau le matangu. Si o mele tupu tangata le whamaoni le atua. E ui lamana e sau mai whamanuianga tā vita, mana malama le upo le atua, langa leo sangata valea, o tupu le asa na ola aifo, I totono la inga le atua, a le tatou vava ai atu, e lea mio wha atua, e le follow example sa whaia lonta mai tā vita, mea la le o mai wha fita au I whamea, o na ngā tete nei o rato loto. O le mea le tupu tangata I le whamaoni le atua. E o mai loia whawhita au ni mapuapua ngā, o na ngā tete nei e loto, a e ngalo ia I lato, o lo soi fua le atua, e le aise mea whaingata I le atua. Amen. Ai lango le whara velave o tangata le whamaoni le atua. Le ala winga lo kala pastor le whamaoni le atua. Kua whaikawa kuspa I le sa. Kua ai loa le kakalo le kaimi o mai e le loku. Au se kaini whapikoa ma oe ma le atua le mai aso atoa, misi atoa. Me leo tau mawhai atua I tato e kālesia, a ua le kako whaamaongi le asama le aso lulu me le asko ngai, a ia kako whaamaongi le atua, ai mai se lava kaimi e leo kilo o e whai ke au ma le kālesia. Nang le singa nga lua le singa ka se longa e va ai mai fai au se longa e va ai mai le ka le sia pa ma au le fai no nga wenga. But I want to encourage you, the most faithfulness that you can be faithful towards God is in those private times when nobody's looking. Because it's easy to be faithful when people are watching. It's easy to be faithful when your parents are watching. Say amen, kids. No. I knew if my dad was watching, I'm going to make sure that pan was clean, no matter how long it took. Why? Because he's watching. But I want you to understand there's someone else who's watching. And we think that we're doing things by ourselves. We think that nobody else sees what we're doing. I'm telling you, as long as you understand that God is always watching from heaven, you don't need the blessings from a pastor. You don't need somebody to say thank you. You know that your thanks is good enough from God who's watching in heaven. I will love you if I'm on your tour, my town before I my tour. Well, love my tatou, say, man. They are owner for my only mother lay up. They are owner lay, but if I'm my only. Those are the words that you want to hear of good and faithful servants. Amen? And so we look at this and we see this. They're afraid because they know that this army is coming back, and God allowed it because of their unfaithfulness. But listen to what Isaia. See, kui foi lunga me e waku si kupunga le wa makanga na pala ai. Na le sa vai pani ku le vai kale. Pa me waku me fai le yo ku ai fai ka we fa me ya. I e fai aku ia o nga. I e fifi le mu. Amen. O nga kupu le fa mauni. A wo ki fefe. A wo ni e fa vai lo loto ono ia I au lama e lua o pusa. Ya no vingo na me o le I au lama e lua o pusa. Pero lama o leva na vela o leva na fa vela le o ka ko le fi fa le malo nga mu le afi nga ngai me mu fo ya le na le ali mai mu a le ko yesi afi now look over this is the embers, the ending of a wood when it finally has burned off all of its fuel, and all you see are these orange lit coals that are sitting there that you can still touch it and grab it. Why? Because its fire is slowly going out. And so here God is saying, why are you worried about those two ember woods? Their fire is about to go out. Why are you worried about them? Instead, you should be focused on me, because when I guide and when I fight for you, nobody can come against me. But that's the problem that we're going to see in this story, because Ahaz was still looking at his problem with eyes of the flesh instead of looking at his problem with eyes of the spirit. But again, this is King Ahaz. He has a different set of eyes. Amen. And we're going to look at that because, again, I want to encourage you, because as we look at Christmas, this is similar to what God tells Isaiah. Look at what he says. Number one, he said, number one, it says to keep calm. Right. Another word there, I like the other translation. This is what King James Version says. It says, be quiet. Turn to your neighbor and say, be quiet. Turn to your neighbor and say, fifi le mu. You go fifi be quiet. The idea here of keep calm is this. Do you know why he started with keep calm? Because anytime you are worried, anytime you become afraid, the first thing we do is we start to get into this chaos mode, right? All of a sudden we're shaking, we're wondering, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. I don't know about you, but sometimes that happens to me as well. We're sitting and something pops up, and then I look at it, my wife's looking at me, and I said, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. She looks at me, she goes, peace be still. I'm like, peace be still. We're missing something. Something's wrong. We got to do something. But she's this quiet lady who says, just filez-vous. Just relax. And I'm sitting there, I'm saying, should I text him back? Maybe I shouldn't text him back. And she's like, don't text. Don't do anything. You know why? Because you're not in your right mindset. And I want to bring this example because that's what happened. Sometimes when we're so fearful and we're afraid and we're worried, we're never in our right mindset. And then we start to make poor decisions. And then we start to send out wrong texts. And then we start to send things out of the emotion at the moment. Instead, at that moment, this is what God says. Anytime you feel worried, anytime you start to go crazy, be quiet. Just be still. Slow down. Step back and assess the situation. I don't know how many times I've sent the wrong text because of oh my gosh, what's going on? And then after that, it was like, oh, that's not even what they meant to say. Okay, my bad, sorry. And you feel dumb afterwards. Because then you're like, so am I lawless and put text now? Then I'll be like, fuck, they bring up the power, they're full cutting me for you. I lay low, I'm a pupun canilla, Lango le file mu loco la for popone. I sat all over for Comakinga, see only penny capone, file mu no tua. Lango le penny capone, and they sat for you may fight. Eu my for zero me, get yelling of 5 for I for Yamaha 5 for my Gilaka if I 5 for, let me get it so. I said, I'm not Ika. O Kukurika, that's a sail on Filipina, get a fire for my Aina. I said, and I want to encourage you, church. Be at peace.
Amen.
When things get crazy, when you get angry, and here's the thing, it's not that we're not going to deal with these things. There are going to be times. I will have to call in or to Lotto. Kelelo oek le kele o Marcus Faia, Filipe Fava o Poyon Malfitus me. I will ne popole o to se metasi. Ia failo atu o to manao I meo malava ile tua. Ile tatalo malefatonga atua malefatai. Awale manuia foi mai ile tua o lo sili lava I meo mai manatu yai. Leo ina yo to Lotto atua mato mafau ya Yesu Kristo.
Amen.
May you have peace in this crazy season. May you have peace in those moments when you're just like, yeah, more want to feel it more.
Amen. Praise the Lord.
Have peace. Because when you don't have peace and things are going crazy up here, I also encourage you, don't try to make any decisions when you're not at your right mindset.
Amen.
Don't. A lot of times you make some of the most, let me just be frank, stupid decisions when you're not in your right mindset. Ia le yo ka ofo ke ama hina agi ya fala wo ngalu fa ka ina si ne fa ke ma fi le fa lu le ika amen ale fa ne tu sta ia a o le ne ke popole ai a o le no ko vale lo loto mua ia e file ma la mo le winga ma le mo le Emanuel o fa tasi le tu ma tatou o le winga mua na ia mo e tatou le file mo. Let us have peace. Let us be still before God. It says in 1 Peter 5:7, all of your anxieties, all of your worries, cast it unto God. Why? Because He cares for you. It keeps on going because we know that Jesus Himself, He would be known as the what? The Prince of Peace. Olea foi isi swafa Yesu Kristo lefeme olea ni ole filemu. Nena ita hua ye tato ina ye tato filemu no mole tua. Se awale popole so. Awale popole so I mea le au ngā o mea le ngei tino I uvale. Aia tato mafau fawi le tua. Mafau fawi mea o lunga I lalangi. And see, these are the things. God said, set your minds on things that are above and not on the things of the world. Why? Because the things that are above are eternal. They're temporary. Because like I said, when we die, we don't take any of those things. You might have 10 cars, 10 houses, 10 of all your favorite things, but I'm telling you, when death comes knocking on your door, those things aren't going with you. And like I said, it's sad that you waste all of your time investing in these temporary things, but then you lose your own soul. What good is it to gain the whole world, but to lose your own soul? E na whai atu ai, a wale ki ufua ngā check e kele, ki ufua ngā se e vai e kele, e sau leo ki ngā aru leia, ngā sau leia lea whiwhingi, o le maka aka ara wan se e o se vai. Yeah, it's only for you. You can come back. Oh, live on a hand, we know what for live on a set fail go big in the face school. Why are that set fail? I own my info, sound in my live. I saw all the figures in from why so I want my oi. Now I say my oh feel it ya. Yang ano ya ya fai mo ya. Praise the Lord. Ya tatou mana tuna tu in the studio na tayo. Awole mana awole haru fuol ko malo siya me e pala fo mai fai nga ngale tu say amen la fauka ko man fo la malonga se vai o kile se vai ai lo fai ka ko man fo mo le tu say amen church mai sala pati mo le tu nei tai out amen nei si me ai so ai le melo lua me mo fe me e file mu lua fe me awa it's fefe. Do not be afraid. And I love this because when you look at the Bible, over 300 times you'll see this term, do not fear, do not fear. Joseph, do not be afraid. Moses, do not be afraid. Joseph and Daniel and everybody else, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, time and time again. Joshua, do not be afraid, for I am with you.
Amen. Amen. Yes.
In the Old Testament, God would repeat this time and time again. In the New Testament, Jesus himself would tell his disciples over and over and over again, do not be afraid. How long will you be afraid? How long till you understand that I am with you, that I am here, and that if God is for us, who can be against you? Yes. No, I say it again. If you understand and if you grasp the fact that God is for you, then why are you afraid? Because you imagine if all of us understood that, how many of us would step out of our comfort zone and actually take a risk and allow God to take lead in our lives? But a lot of us are afraid. Why? Because we still want to take control. And that's one of the biggest problems in all of humanity is we want to control every situation. But when you come to God, God says, release the situation to me. Let go of the reins. Let me be a God in your life. And you will see that if God is for you, nobody, I say that again, nobody can come against you. No, they can try, they can do whatever they want. The devil can shoot all of the arrows day in and day out, but it doesn't matter when God is fighting for you, when God is with you, because the disciples forgot that. Do you remember that when there was a storm on the boat and they were running around and the water began filling up the boat? They started to become afraid and they started to look at each other and think to themselves, oh my gosh, we're going to die here. I didn't say bye to my wife. I didn't say bye to my kids. I didn't kiss the sheep goodbye. Whatever it was, they were afraid. And then one of them said, where's Jesus? If Jesus was here, we would be okay. But they forgot that what? Jesus was sleeping on the boat. Nalo ye la to o leo ro fai ala le malo lo ma Yesu e no ma ai le ka mo e solo e no ma o fe o va ai a le angi mai le fa o le akumu le ma ai le sami ai le o fa pe fo o ai la fa o la ine tato who's going to help us au nalo ye la to o le ya Yesu le ba Midway o wa nge ngalo ya te o lo ya Yesu e no ma e mo e malo lo Yesu le ka o la ya Yesu no ma wa au no au lo falanga ile ise Yesu lo va o ke ka ko me aso mi ele mamuya ele ibu mamuya ibu va au le mesio ka ho me tato fai no ma ia ya Yesu le va ia ya Yesu le va ina te talo ya te oi au ne tele tato so me alo for Christmas ia fa ta ho ya te oi ia ya Yesu te tonu vai ia o nga te tonu Yesu ia ina e fa pia mai se o fio como fai pea o sai pea fai pea ya so uma la o le me te lulu wino le me na te se le ina me na e fa malo si e ke ia o e la kalaka le ke me ke manguia e o e fa vai ai le fe mai ya o le me anga e fa malo si o e ke fa tamala i le fai me le lei a wa te sele ai se te mi pe a fai e te le fa vai ya la ke fa malo si a te o le kalesia au ke fa vai la e ko fa vai ya ai ko e kiki e ko no si le ke me ke sele ai i manguia mai le tu a malo si pe O sa ipea. Aua e te whewhe. Say amen. Awa le upu lava le lua Timoteo mo mo whai koe whitu for me. Awa ua le fua ina mai le atua ia te tātou le nganga ia e matau ai. Au le nganga e wha ma losi ai ma lofa ai ma mawhau tonu ai. Did you hear that? It says God did not give us a spirit of fear. So number one, anytime you're afraid, it's not from God. Because God doesn't give you a spirit of fear. So se tengi te whewhe o oe lava malwai vai lo whato tua. Ai awa le tato whapea o le atua. No, nanga le whemai e lei fo i mai le atua. Se loto e tato te mata tau wai. Se a nganga e tato te whewhe ai e tato whamalosi. A lofa i le atua. Whai pele ngā ruenga. Ma ia mawhau tonu. Ia say amen? Fear is not from God. So please, why are you afraid? Let go. Let God. Let Him take control. Say amen? Mana i foi fa punga le Isaia fastu tasi fa ko school for me. Awe te fefe. Awa o te ya te oe ya so uma. Awa le fe tepa te pai. Awa o ako lo atua. O te fa malosia oe. E moni o te fesosohani ya te oe. E moni o te tau fia oe lo lima tau matau. E iai le ame o tonu. Amen. We fa long we fa maunye le tua. This is what God is saying. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. He's not just any God. He's your God. He's a God that's for you. He said, I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. Yes, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. God is for you, church. He's not up there waiting for you to fail. He's not up there counting all of our sins. No, because He already paid our sins through Jesus Christ. Do you know what He's up there? He's just cheering us on. And you know what else He's doing? He's waiting for you to give up control. Because a lot of times, like I said, God doesn't force Himself on us. God never forces. But God is waiting. Come on, son. Just trust me. Come on, daughter. Just trust me. Just let go. I know it doesn't make sense, but just let go. But that's what faith is. Faith never makes sense. It never makes sense, but that's what it is. Because we believe before we see, right? Because in this world they teach that you have to see before believing, but faith is believing before we see it. Therefore, just let go. Give God a chance. That's all He's asking for you. And I'm telling you, the moment you give God the reins of your life, you will start to see His blessings. And when they say blessings, please don't take this wrong. Some of us, we equate a lot of material blessings with God's blessings. No, you can have all the material things in the world and not be blessed by God. But here's the blessing: good life, children, a good family, the jobs that you have, the breath in your lungs. Do you know this morning that not everybody woke up?
Right.
See, we don't think about those things because all we care about is, I'm up, we're going to go to church, good. But we need to think. There are other people around this world that didn't wake up this morning. But praise God, you and I are here this morning. Don't forget the simple things in life. Yes, we praise God for all of the other things, but don't forget the strength and the air in our lungs. These are things that are common, so common that we tend to forget to give thanks to God for it. But again, don't be afraid. God is with you. Say amen. Amen. The last thing here it says, do not lose heart. Aua le whaamai mai lo loto. I le lua konrito e whaafai po spuma le oma nai e le whaitau le apostolo Paulo fi mai o le mea le mātou te le whaamai mai ai. Aua e ui lava ina what is that word? Tauau ina uma lo mātou tangata I whafo. Ua whafo wina le I totonu I le aso ma le aso. Le winga e ui lava ina tele ia mea tu lai mai e whaasanga tau mai le tino e whaavai mai ai o tātou loto e tau mawhai ina ia avese tātou whātua tua ai whamei e leo se mele mātou te whaavai mai ai ai sea ua mātou I loa ma ua mauti loa o le atua soifua e whaafo wina le tātou manos. Le atua soifua e whaafo wina i o tātou tanata. It is God who gives us strength. He says, therefore, we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles. Did you hear it? This is a man of faith. He said, those troubles, they're light and they're temporary. They are nothing compared to achieving for us an eternal glory that outweighs them all. What is this eternal glory? The earth is not our home. We're heaven bound. Our citizenship is not in this earth. Our citizenship is in heaven. So when we work with that understanding. Someday we will die. Two things: if we don't die first, or if Jesus comes back first. Whichever of those two happens, we know that our lives are short, that our lives will come to an end. But what matters is which side of eternity you will be on when that end comes. Because there's two eternities: eternity in hell or eternity in heaven. Say amen. And so the encouragement here: don't lose heart. Don't give up. Say amen. I will if I by Aye tatou fa malo lo si ole winga ole si le winga ole ngole ole Emmanuelu ele ngatele file mu awa foye te fefe awa foye te fa vai aye fa malo lo si Isaia na le fa tasile to my tatou. Amen. And I want to close with this story here as we close, and I ask the worship team to please come up. At the ending of the story, leo la fa mai o fa yatu lo ya Isaia ya asa. Leo família tua aua te popole o mea uma ia fia faira wali ia tolua ele tu le mea lea ele o lava ai va aila ia le mea le faile fai o mulu fai o pasula sultasi lela wa watu nei le tua. Now God is speaking to Ahaz directly, and now he's telling Ahaz, ask me anything, ask me for a sign. And when you hear that, you might think, is that a trick question? Because we know that God can do anything. But what I want you to understand is, here, the one and only true God is stooping low to human level to simply say, if you still don't trust me, Ahaz, go ahead and ask me one thing, anything. Tell me, if you want me to move the moon this way, drop the stars, erase all of the land, whatever it is, ask me for a sign and I will show it to you. And I want you to understand this because, again, what we're seeing here is a mighty, holy, righteous God stooping down to the level of a human being. Because he understands that Ahaz has already made it in his heart. This is here. Let me help you understand and connect the two. The reason why Ahaz says, oh no, God, I'm not going to ask you anything. It's okay. It sounds like a good answer, but it's not. Because the heart of the answer is found in 2 Chronicles 28. He already made a choice in his heart that he's the only way that he can beat these two kingdoms is to join Assyria. Is to join the higher power. Is that mentality that if you can't beat them, join them. So Ahaz has made it in his mind, I'm going to join the enemy. Perhaps if I can get on his good side, he might be able to protect me from everywhere else. And I want you to capture this because here's the thing. Instead of trusting in God who told him in the beginning, don't be afraid, be still, know that I am God, I am able to save you. He says in verse 7, don't worry, what they say is not going to happen because I am your God. But instead of choosing God, Ahaz chose what he wanted to do. He said, no God, it's okay. And he sounds like a Christian answer. I will not tempt God. But see, some of us, in our pride and our ego, instead of trusting God, we can use the Bible to hide from God as well. We can use the Word of God as a way to defend what we want to do. Because that's what Ahaz has done. He's used the word, oh God, I cannot tempt you. The Bible says that you cannot be tempted. It sounds like a good answer, but it's an answer of a man who is rejecting God and his help. And so when we get into this, I love this because, again, if you think about it, the moment Ahaz rejected God, God could have simply packed his bag and went back to heaven. But he doesn't. Look what he says. He says, even though, Ahaz, you do not trust me, I am going to give you a sign. Even though you don't ask me, I'm going to give you a sign. And this is the sign. A virgin shall give birth to a son. I say it again. This is a sign in the midst of chaos, in the midst of unfaithfulness, in the midst of a wicked king, in the midst of a king who rejected the answer of God. It did not nullify God's faithfulness in showing us a sign. And the sign is this: a son will be born. Jesus will be born, and his name will be Emmanuel, which means this: God is with us. And I want you to understand, Kusalama pekele fatu tua mayata. Ailela o fayatu failoma. Ole ato le taupo. Ole afana umaile tama. Ole tama foilea. Ole afainua ya Emmanuel. And if you don't capture the essence of this is the same story for us. In our wickedness, in our evilness, in our turning our backs to God, God still loved us. God was still faithful to sending his son. Jesus came knowing that not everyone would believe in him, but that's what you call love. That's what this reason is for. Not for gifts, but to remember that God was made flesh. That God came with a mission to die for you. He didn't come so he could have his birthday celebrated on the 25th of December. He didn't come for that. He had a mission, and his mission was to die for you and for me. His mission was to give his life for you and for me. Even though we don't deserve it, God still loved us. Isaia fase la mo tupu tausanga taunu ile fana uma yo Yesu Kristo ole alofa le ole tua mo ema ole tala foi asa atato baba ayai ole tala foi le oema o tangata le amio tonu lu mo le tua o tangata sanga sala ile tua ai le tu ai le alofa ole tua mo ema we are na ne Christmas ile kalesia e mana tunatu le alofa le tua mana tunatu le alofa le tua. Well, se isi atua, e lei se me fai moema. Ai fa fetai le tua. O no lo na lo pelo Yesu Kristo. Le wo mo wai oema o le avano. O mo wai oema o le fa o le tama. Al mele te fa malo si tua ya te oe, pero ya le tatou unashamed series. O le ala le fo ai mai le tua. O oe na ya le ki e te tali aina. Langa le fosia le tua soli. O na le tu ina tu ya te oe. Ai pule oe. Peke kalia inga le mea lofa le a Yesu moana. Au nei tai au te whamalusi atu ya te oe. A whaia le kalia inga. A prawe nei tai au te talia e nengo e mea lofa le tautina. A vea nei tai au te toi ofo ina atu ai lo ola i le atua. A wale upu moni lava. E le aise mea mawhaina tutongi e tato e tala. Le aise mea. Awana olea o le tuina ato tato tangata i le tua. Ia whai o se taulanga e mu, o se taulanga e paia, o se taulanga e manongi i luma o le tua. Le tato tulai.